The most important thing with personal branding is consistency over intensity. The more you do something, the more you improve, and you try, you fail, you learn, and you improve. You can start building your personal brand at any time, and the truth is everybody has a personal brand, even if you're not working on it. That's the thing no one talks about, because simple sells.
My man.
You're right. How are you? Really good. How are you?
I'm great, dude. So this is Steven. He's got the coolest Instagram name on the planet, just at Steven. I immediately went to go look up at Steven with a V. I immediately went to go look up who had at Evan, and it's just some guy who got in early. That was it. So Steven also runs Social Chain, which is an awesome marketing agency. Has a book, Happy Sexy Millionaire. And if you don't know his Instagram, he's got quotes that inspire, that push, that move people forward. And so welcome aboard, man. Great to hear your message.
Great to be with you. And I'd love to tell the story about how I got the Instagram name Steven, because I get asked this all the time. What happened was a friend of mine started an app called Unfold. Well, he wasn't a friend of mine. I'll tell you the story because I think it shows there's a lesson in this, or at least there has been for me. A young man won a competition to come and meet me, and he came and met me in Brooklyn in New York. And he came and showed me his idea, which was this art portfolio iPad app. And I told him that it wasn't a great idea, and gave him some tips and advice, etc., on how to change it. And 1 year later, a guy walked into my office in New York and said, I'm working on 3 different ideas. This was a completely different guy. I'm working on 3 different ideas. One's this, one's that, and then one's this app for Instagram stories. And he explained it to me, and I said, this is a brilliant idea. It's a guy called Andy. I said, Andy, I need to meet the founder tonight. In Brooklyn, later that night at 1 a.m., he introduced me to the founder, and it was the kid I'd met a year before. He'd pivoted the app into this app called Unfold. It had 1 million users at the time, and it was growing like crazy. And I walked into this apartment in New York. This kid is shaking because it's been a year since he met me. And and they just got acquired by a Squarespace. And I know they've made a lot of money. But so the guy, Andy, as a thank you for the help and for the guidance of these, he actually owned the username Steven. So he gave it to me as a thank you. And that's my story.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy how things come back around. So if the name's, how I got this name was because of I gave my time to somebody with no expectations, I guess, and that's that worked out in the long run. Yeah,
I love it, and you're giving back with all the content you're putting up every day.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think I'm taking as much as I'm giving because I enjoy it so much. I think the process of creating content and producing videos and quotes and writing is one that's just as selfish as it seems. Selfless. So yeah, I really love it. Yeah.
So one of the things I love doing on this show, since we can do it on Instagram Live, we can move around,
sure, is
either a tour or if there's like some object or something you've got that has a nice story to it. So it's not just seeing a white background. Like, is there some object you got that means something you can tell us a story with? I'm going to pop to my room, which is just that. I'll be right back. Okay, I'll see if I can grab something. Give me 1 second. Okay.
This is quite a symbolic thing for me, and it's only a simple thing. But a couple of years ago, someone gave me this little piece of jewelry, and if you know me, if you're close to me, if you're one of my close friends, you'll understand why this jewelry means a lot to me. It's just this little lion, and everywhere in my house, I'm in Europe at the moment, but in my house in New York and everywhere where I live and everywhere I go, I have many, many lions everywhere. Paintings, jewelry, my background of my phone is a lion. And it's one of the things that I think I've just learned about business over the years, which is, for me, it's been incredibly important to be able to be fierce at times, sometimes fierce with my ambitions, with my team, but also having that sense of calm. And I think the lion for me has always represented a real strong, calm and authoritative leadership. So the more you know me, the more you'll walk around my house and you'll see that there are 20 or 30 lions. There are statues, there are paintings, and it's the animal that I resonate with the most for those reasons: the strength, but also the softness. And I think that kind of personifies me. So I could show you this piece of jewelry, but I have 30 more lions on rings and things like that. That was just the first thing that came to my mind when I went to my bedroom.
I love it. That's awesome, dude. Now, somebody's saying in the live chat that they love your YouTube channel to change their life. I actually didn't know you were doing YouTube stuff. What are you doing on your YouTube channel?
I used to. I used to do a daily vlog. So I used to vlog every day. There's two channels you'll see. There's one that I have about 55,000 subs. And I videoed, it was a daily vlog. So I videoed pretty much every day for about 300 days or so, just business and running the offices and all of the struggles that entrepreneurs go through. So it was everything from problems with my girlfriend to problems in my personal life to business challenges. And I just shared it all for about 2 years in total. And I'll be doing it again soon for sure. But I ended up moving to New York, which meant that I paused for a second.
And so why heavily invest on, because you're in the space and you teach people about social, which is great. I always love the conversation of why Instagram as the all-in versus YouTube.
So the way that I look at it is, in essence, I'm building a funnel with my audiences. And at the start of the funnel, I really have things, I produce content that can reach a wide array of people, a very broad number of people with fairly broad topics. So things that a lot of people can relate to. And as you move down my funnel, you have things that bring you a lot closer to me, like my podcast, which I do pretty religiously. And then you'll have my YouTube vlog. And then at the very end of my funnel, you have the community that are on my owned channels, like my SMS channel or my newsletter and those things. And so at the top of my funnel, I chose Instagram, and I used to be Facebook as well. I have about 1 million people on Facebook, but I just didn't really enjoy producing content on Facebook as much as Instagram. And then that's really just a way of getting to know me as I see it. Further down my funnel, you really get to know me with my podcast and my YouTube vlogs. And then at the end of the funnel, we're really connected. And that's where I do my webinars, and I'll send out my email newsletter. And I think you have to build that funnel as a personal brand builder if you want to bring people in the front door and bring them to the bedroom. So yeah.
So I flipped it. I went LinkedIn to Facebook to YouTube, and that's where I built. We got 2 million subs on YouTube. Like that's for people watching this on the replay on YouTube. Hey, and then now more recently on Instagram. I want YouTube because the content lives forever. Because what you make in 5 years, like this is a year ago, and people are still saying, "I love your videos." Like, wait, he's doing videos? What are the videos? Let me go look that up.
Yeah. No, YouTube's a brilliant channel. It's obviously a lot more, typically a lot more work, right? Production work. It's longer form, over 10 minutes ideally. And so, for someone like me that at this point in my life, I want to produce for a big audience, but I can't necessarily invest a lot of time into the production. Instagram has been the platform for me. But I tell you what, LinkedIn, I've been all in on LinkedIn for the last year and a half, and I'm slowly growing my audience now. I've just surpassed about 100,000 followers, but a mega important platform because of the virality and how, it's like Facebook 2014, where, if you comment on something, it spreads it to all of that person's connections. And that's an opportunity that won't last long for sure. So I'm all in on LinkedIn as well in a big way.
Have you thought of doing YouTube videos just Q&A, or instead of like a vlog takes a ton of work to put together and edit and everything, but just you've got you're speaking, I've seen it, it's awesome, or just being able to answer questions where you can just sit where you're sitting, even pull out your phone, because it's production quality. Quality is more like you got the quality in your head. Right? Your opinions, your ideas are high quality. Have you thought of just doing 10, 12-minute videos that actually just take 10, 12 minutes to make and then just post because you're so good at what you do?
Yeah, do you know what I'm going to do is, so the way that I look at it is I never want my things to overlap too much, or else it's a waste of time. And what I mean by that is if I'm sitting down to record an hour-long podcast every week anyway, I should just video that. Yeah. And that's basically making more out of the same amount of time. So my podcast is called The Diary of a CEO, and it's doing really, really well. It's huge over here in the UK in terms of the business charts. It's either #1 or in the top 10. And I'm going to start videoing that. The issue I've always had with this, the videoing it, honestly, just speaking honestly, is so I live in New York. That's my only, that's really my only official residence. And I've been there 1 week this year. And that speaks to my schedule. So I'm typically flying about 4 days a week. And if you think about scheduling podcasts anywhere, I really don't know where I'm going to be. We have 5 offices around the world. We have 700 team members. And my job is to fly between the offices, but also to do a lot of public speaking and, those kinds of things. So that's been the big issue for me, is how do I record a podcast? And a lot of these are excuses as well, because I know that there's ways around it. It's just like, I think the most important thing when you come to building a personal brand or producing content is you need to find something that you enjoy and that is sustainable. And if you can do something that you enjoy and is sustainable, you'll become consistent. And the key to personal branding is consistency. Mm-hmm. So I don't try and trick myself into doing anything that I don't find sustainable or enjoyable. And I think I had a conversation with my team recently where I said I want to start doing more YouTube, but I think it'll be videoing my podcast. Yeah,
that's an easy start.
Yeah,
I think also for a lot of people, it's just being willing to lower the production quality. Like maybe it's you're filming off your phone while you're in the backseat of an Uber or cab going to an airplane with a thought that's on you, because you see that you're such a unique dude. You see the world differently. Like you step out in the streets of New York, and everybody else sees one thing, and like you're seeing this, you're noticing that guy there on the corner doing it, right? And so just what's going on in your head is value. Forget about like the perfect lighting or the setup or any other stuff. If you were and I know you run a marketing agency, so like there's a little bit of care about it, but I think just like I love what you do on IG, where you've got your personal, right, Stephen, which is not talking about marketing. It's personal development, it's growth, it's ambition and motivation and just inspiration. It's great. And then it's just in your bio, oh, I'm also the CEO of Social Chain, and you can go there and see all the marketing content too. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see the podcast is a super easy one. I'd love to see just your thoughts of like how you see the world.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I do on my podcast. So my podcast is most of the time is alone. And in fact, the episodes that do the best are when I am alone. And it's 1 hour of me showing you what's in my diary based on the last week. So it could be, some massive issue with my mum. It could be a massive issue in business. It could be an issue with a team member. It could be someone that sits down next to me on the plane and something I learned by how they behaved. And it's that real sort of like observational analysis that I just pour out completely honestly in a way that is hopefully won't get me cancelled. So, but it really is raw. It's raw. I talk about everything. I've talked about masturbation and whatever else. But I just need, and that of all of the pieces of content I produce is the one that has the greatest sort of affinity or the greatest connection with my audience. But it's not recorded. By far. And this is also why I stopped Facebook. So I made 5 Facebook videos on Facebook Watch when it came out, and they averaged 10 million views. So it made a lot of money, but it was a 3-minute video about sort of vague, broad appeal topics. And I just didn't get a lot out of it, to be honest. I was trying to make viral videos and I wasn't getting a huge amount out of it. So my podcast was almost like therapy for me. It was like, a cathartic experience. So yeah.
Well, long form definitely works on YouTube. And
oh, for sure.
Dude, if you can, nobody can carry a 1 hour solo podcast. Like
I love it. It's my favorite thing. Yeah, it's my favorite thing.
Because you got a perspective that is just different.
I'll do it. I'm telling you, Evan, I'm going to do it. I have to find a way to make it like truly sustainable. And I've always, fantasized about having a big studio that I could record it in. And in Manchester, we have 8 studios. We have a studio in New York, but I'm never in either. And so what happens with my podcast is it's recorded, I swear to God, I'd say 80% of the time in a cupboard under some stairs somewhere where I can just have, in a hotel, where I can have silence. And that's it. And, I can't really record in that cupboard in the hotel. So it's been a tricky one. I think,
dude, I would love to see the guy who's got offices all over the world, and beautiful New York apartment. And then here he is, like sitting under a staircase in a cupboard, whatever, filming. Like, that's when everybody else is trying to be perfect and have the perfect studio. You're the guy who says, just go, just make, just love yourself. Don't worry about the judgment, right? And I was like, here you are living it. I think that would be fire, dude.
Maybe I'll do that under the staircase.